In 1912, 4-year-old Bobby Dunbar waded the shallows of Swayback Lake, Louisiana, and then vanished from a crowded family campsite in full afternoon light, with every inch of that shoreline searched and nothing found. Not a shoe, not a footprint past the water's edge, not a sound. And that is the problem. Bobby Dunbar was 4 years old. Blonde hair, sturdy build, the kind of child who ran ahead of everyone and laughed when you called him back. His family drove out to Swayback Lake in Landry Parish on August 23, 1912, for a fishing trip, one of dozens they had taken. His father Leslie and mother Percy had brought along friends. It was crowded and loud, the ordinary noise of a family weekend in the Louisiana heat. No one was watching for danger. There was nothing in that moment that suggested danger existed. Bobby was last seen near the water that afternoon. He had been in sight just minutes before. The adults turned around and he was gone. There was no scream, no splash, no moment anyone could later point to and say, that was it, that was when it happened. The timeline reconstructed afterward places Bobby at the water's edge sometime around 3 in the afternoon. He had been playing near the reeds. An adult, the accounts disagree on exactly who glanced away for what felt like seconds. When they looked back, the reeds were still. The water was still. Bobby was not there. The family called for him first. Then the campsite emptied and people spread along the bank calling his name. Nothing answered. By evening, every adult at that lake was searching. By morning, the surrounding parishes had organized. Boats dragged the water. Dogs worked the tree line. The marshland beyond the lake was covered in every direction. Bobby did not answer, and nobody heard him leave. For weeks, search parties returned to Swayback Lake. The St. Landry Parish sheriff organized formal sweeps. Local newspapers ran the story. The Dunbar family posted a reward, and the case drew coverage across Louisiana and into neighboring states, unusual for 1912. Bobby's parents did not leave. They stayed near the lake waiting. What the searches did not find was everything. No clothing, no footprints leading away from the water, no witness who saw a child walking alone on any road near that lake. The water was dragged thoroughly. No body surfaced. The dogs picked up nothing beyond the campsite perimeter. The surrounding area was not empty wilderness. There were farms nearby, roads, people who would have noticed a 4-year-old walking alone. Nobody noticed anything. Nobody reported seeing him. The lake returned nothing. After months, the official search quietly stopped. The theory that took hold, the one that gave the Dunbar family something to hold on to, was abduction. Someone at or near the lake had taken Bobby. It happened fast and quietly before anyone could react. That explanation accounted for the absence of a body, the absence of tracks, the absence of a drowning. It was the only theory that let Bobby still be alive somewhere. 8 months later, in April of 1913, it seemed to come true. A boy matching Bobby's description was found in Mississippi, traveling with a drifter named William Cantwell Walters, an itinerant piano tuner who moved from town to town. The boy was the right age, the right build. His hair was the right color. The Dunbar family traveled to Mississippi and identified him immediately. Bobby was home. Walters was arrested, tried, convicted of kidnapping, and sentenced to life. The town of Opelousas celebrated. The case was closed. Remember that open water. Remember that the search found nothing, not a footprint, not a scrap of cloth, not a single direction he could have gone. A woman named Julia Anderson arrived at the trial and said the boy was her son. His name, she told the court, was Charles Bruce Anderson. She had temporarily loaned him to Walters, a family acquaintance, while she worked. The boy stood between them. Several people in that courtroom noted he appeared to recognize her. The court dismissed Julia Anderson. The jury believed the Dunbars. Walters went to prison. The boy grew up as Bobby Dunbar. He married, had children, had grandchildren, lived a full life in Louisiana under that name. And then, 92 years after that trial, someone ran a DNA test. In 2004, a direct descendant of the man raised as Bobby Dunbar agreed to be tested against a confirmed biological Dunbar relative. The results were unambiguous. No shared DNA. None. The boy the Dunbar family brought home from Mississippi in 1913 was not Bobby Dunbar. He was, almost certainly, Charles Bruce Anderson, Julia Anderson's son, taken from her at trial, raised under another family's name for a century. Which means the real Bobby Dunbar, the 4-year-old who waded the shallows of Swayback Lake on August 23, 1912, was never found, was never explained. The case remains officially open. No remains have ever been recovered. No credible account ever placed Bobby after that afternoon. A family grieved, then celebrated, then grieved again, and the water and land gave back nothing. So who took Bobby Dunbar from that lake, and is it possible that somewhere someone has always known?